So what is high dynamic range photography? High dynamic range photography is a post-processing technique that involves combining photos taken with multiple different exposures into a single optimized image. So how do you shoot an HDR multi-exposure shot? Because it does start in camera, and this is easy. First, lock your camera down on a tripod. This is essential for proper image registration in the software later. You're going to compose and set your normal exposure and take the picture. Then you're going to leave your f-stop and your ISO alone, and you're only going to adjust your exposure with the shutter speed. And remember, if you're dropping below 1/60th of a second, even on a tripod, you still need to use your self-timer or cable release to trigger the shutter release. Because even when you are pushing the shutter release button, you could cause vibrations that would make your image slightly blurry. Now, what's the series? At minimum, you need at least 3 shots. So you're going to capture one shot at the normal exposure, whatever the camera tells you is a properly exposed normal shot. And then you're going to take one additional shot at 2 stops overexposed and another additional shot at 2 stops underexposed. That gives you 3 shots that should cover most normal brightness ranges. Now, if you have time, try shooting with 5 shots. Capture one at normal exposure, one shot at +1 stop over and +2 stops over, and go back and shoot another shot at -1 stop under and -2 stops under. This is going to give you 5 shots to capture the entire brightness range. Now, you can do this with up to 7 to 9 shots if the scene requires it, and try experimenting with it. But typically I found I never need more than 5 shots to get great results, and most times I can get away with 3. So how do you merge your shots in Photoshop? Well, I'd like to start in Adobe Bridge, so just go there, select your shots, and then just go up to the Adobe Bridge menu bar, go to Tools, go down to Photoshop, and choose Photo Merge. Let's do that now in real time. Tools, merge to HDR Pro. Sometimes you might get a message saying Photoshop's busy with another task. You know it's not. It's a bug in the system. Just click yes that you'd like to queue this command and it will immediately get to work. It's going to open all the images in Photoshop and then it will launch into Merge to HDR Pro dialog box. Maybe some flags are moving. Let's see if I can remove ghost. I can, so there must have been some movement somewhere. So I get to choose, see at the bottom, I'm clicking to choose which image I like the best. Probably going to choose this image. I'm going to complete toning in Adobe Camera Raw, click tone in ACR. It's going to go back to Photoshop, and then it's going to launch in Adobe Camera Raw with all the image data from all 6 images. So now I can raise my shadow value, and it's really going to raise it. I can raise my exposure, pull down my highlights so I don't blow out anything. I can pull up my... So here I'm just doing a lot of the processing in Adobe Camera Raw, showing my workflow and the typical steps I take to optimize an image. You can find out about this if you watch the entire course, where I really get into the details of the whys and the whens and the workflows. But there's no reason to bother you with that now. This is just my processing. Go back to the basic control panel and then ask, well, what else would I like to do? Maybe a little bit more. So again, this is where you process to your taste, right? After my processing, this is the image that I ended up with that I really enjoyed.